A cunning magician conceals their true intentions, working in shadow until their desires are manifested. The adept understands that energy contained is power maintained. Pragmatic magic is a clandestine exercise, a solitary art that must be carefully tended in secret. President Malphas is labeled as a deceptive demon. However, he does not deceive for amusement. Malphas deceives because he understands that all large systems require misdirection to function. A successful institution hides its true incentives. It masks its points of control. It presents stability while redistributing power. Without deception, systems collapse under scrutiny. Malphas governs this hidden layer. It is stated that Malphas can destroy the magician's work, but this is overly simplistic and therefore misunderstood. Malphas is only dangerous to the impulsive magician. Malphas teaches timing. He teaches the magician when to build, when to conceal, and when to reveal. Reveal a structure before it stabilizes and it collapses. Expose architecture too early and it fails. To better understand Malphas, let's take a look at the Ars Goetia. The Goetia tells us that Malphas is a president of hell who governs 40 legions of spirits. He appears firstly in the form of a crow or raven, later taking on human form. He's a builder of houses, towers, and strongholds. He reveals hidden enemies. And lastly, the Goetia warns that Malphas can destroy the magician's work if not properly constrained. Let's take a closer look at the raven. This bird is symbolic of intelligence that observes before it builds. Ravens represent surveillance, pattern recognition, strategic patience, and intelligence that watches before acting. The raven is connected with Malphas because this is a demon that studies the terrain before beginning construction. Never ever does Malphas rush to build. Malphas teaches the psychology of studying social structures patiently to identify weak points and learn where influence actually resides. Only after a full and careful analysis does construction begin. The building of houses and strongholds is symbolic of metaphysical architecture. Within the infernal metaphysics of Pluto-Sophia, architecture refers to institutions, belief systems, psychological frameworks, social hierarchies. Malphas governs the design of environments that shape behavior. Within alchemy, Malphas corresponds with the process of coagulation. After transformation, matter must be fixed for the structure to hold and the form to endure. Unlike Forrest, Malphas's fixation is external. He builds containers, whether they be social, psychological, or institutional, capable of holding power. Within the tarot, Malphas aligns with the emperor, representing authority through structure, control through design, and power expressed as architecture. The genius of Malphas is that he doesn't bother with persuasion. Instead, he organizes reality so that persuasion becomes unnecessary. Malphas also corresponds with the high priestess. This is the watching intelligence phase of the raven. At this stage, knowledge is withheld and motives are obscured. Silence is wielded as a weapon here. For what is not seen cannot be attacked. Malphas understands that premature revelation destroys structure. Structure without enforcement collapses, which is why Malphas also corresponds with the Justice tarot card. Justice introduces rules, consequences, and internal coherence. Malphas does not rely solely upon personal power. Rather, he ingeniously embeds power into systems that enforce themselves. Malphas designs architecture that survives scrutiny. Malphas is a demon of deception, not lies. Don't misunderstand this. He is a metaphysical intelligence that understands that truth alone does not build systems. Power requires structure, and stability of that structure often depends on concealment. Malphas governs the scaffolding beneath institutions. He's the architect behind the authority structures. He designs the frameworks that people live inside without noticing. The demon President Malphas is the architect of deception as strategy.